On the phone with me right now is a fellow comedian, Lenny Corrado. Lenny, you might know him on the circuit as Lenny the Butcher. In fact, that's Lenny's handle on Twitter, Lenny the Butcher. He's a tough guy, but you know what? I have Lenny on Dogstarz today because Lenny, being the tough guy that you are, I have to say it's probably your story that most recently made me very sad. Aside from your story, was also just the picture of Max. What a great dog. Can you tell us Max's story?
Well, Max's story, we got him 10 years ago, and he's a mixed Westie and Westie Poo. He's a Highland Terrier and a Poodle mix. So he had like a little pointy nose and he had big ears. That was his whole thing, he had these big ears. And I never wanted a dog, ever. Not because I don't like animals, but because I knew there would be a lot of work. And my wife went out on a Friday night to PJ's Pet Center. Those days they used to sell dogs there too, right? Which is illegal now because it's not fair to the animals, right?
Yeah.
But so she went on a Friday and said, we saw this dog we're thinking of getting. Like, okay, well, we'll think about it. But the next day she went and just got it. That was it. Like, we had a dog from then on, right? And the first, few months was terrible. It was, peeing everywhere. And my wife was very stressed out. She was ready to give it back to and everything. And then all of a sudden, everything worked out well. And I wouldn't trade him for anything after that. But, he was my best friend. Like, he would be the only guy that would come to the door. My kids were small then. My kids were like 6 and 8. 6. Yeah, it was 10 years ago. So Andy was 10 and Michael was 6. So they were small. We got it for the kids. But really, pets are not for the kids. They're for the adults.
Absolutely. And your story is on so many levels. It's such a learning experience. I mean, I feel your pain, and the reason I reached out to you today is because you said in an email to me, hey, I don't know if I'll ever be ready to get another dog again. Because there's just no other dog that can replace Max. But I will tell you from the bottom of my heart, whatever contacts I have with Dogstarz, I will definitely keep you and your family in mind. But I'm also here to tell you that it's a process and it's different for everybody. And if I could do one thing different in my life, I waited 10 years before I got another dog when I lost my dog, because I'm like, oh, this is devastating. Martha Chavez has the best line about pets, and she just she wasn't trying to be funny, but she says that pets are pain on layaway. And it's so true. I mean, it's just awful when you lose a pet, but
it's inevitable because they only have a short lifespan, 10, 15 years, and that's it. You know it already from the start.
I know.
You dread that day, and it's going to come sooner or later.
I know. Well, if I can, again, we here at the Dogstarz crew, our hearts are with you for sure. But, a fellow comedian who I'm actually chatting with, tomorrow, you'll hear her story. Lori Ferguson had the same heartbreaking message on Facebook a couple of months ago. She lost her dog after having him for many years, and I just felt so sad for her, because as pet lovers, we've all been there. But you'll be happy to know, and she said the same thing, I don't think I'll ever be able to adopt again, and she's picking up her puppy tonight.
Oh, well, you know what? I said that, I didn't say, I feel bad about it, because you know what? You think that you're trying just to replace loss of your dog, and that dog will never be the same as your other dog, and you'll always compare it maybe, and you feel bad because, you feel bad thinking, because my dog knew that within 6 months of him leaving, passing away, I just got a new dog, and I'm okay now. Mm-hmm. You're never going to be okay. This new dog will bring a new special qualities that maybe your dog didn't have, and it's just, and you'll love him just as much as you love your dog. It's just, you can't treat him as a replacement. It's just another pet. It's just a pet, and you have to start fresh with this one here, right? It's never going to replace the one you lost.
It's not. And, in fact, experts say that when you are really heartbroken and you go out and get another pet immediately, sometimes that dog or that cat gets a little bit screwed up because there's so much grief that goes into that pet, you know? So sometimes taking a little break, please don't take a break as long as I did, but taking a break to heal and then move on. And I also know people who foster dogs. They say, look, I'm not really in a position right now that I think I can full-time commit, but I would like to help an organization foster a pet. But what's so funny about that is the amount of foster failures that they have. You know?
That's funny.
So there is a wonderful group. I'm not just saying this to you, but I'm saying to all of our listeners, possibly one of the best groups that I've heard of in the Toronto area, actually throughout Ontario, is Speaking of Dogs. Speakingofdogs.com. They do a lot of terrific foster work, and they too will gladly say they have a lot of foster failures.
But like I know that I will. Like my wife, I feel more sorry for my wife because she's home all day, seeing the things. My wife was a stay-at-home mom and everything, so she would always go for a walk at 11:30, you know, feed him, take him with her to pick up my son. I'm at work during the day. I cannot, when I'm home, the first week this happened, I could only text my wife because if we spoke about him face to face, we couldn't get through a conversation, you know? Mm-hmm. So I said, listen to her, I go, I'm only going to text you until we're able to talk to each other about Max face to face, right? Otherwise, I couldn't take it. It was too much, right? Because they give you know this already, obviously, they give unconditional love. Right?
Oh, it's amazing.
It's hard to find unconditional love anywhere. And so once you have it, it's so hard to lose it. Because once you lose it, it just feel like a little sadness in me every day. Like even just coming home, getting ready to come home and sit on the couch and look over where you used to sit, you know, and when you used to run around the backyard and chase squirrels and stuff, you know, it's like you can't not think about it because it's there. It's like constant reminders, right? I
know, and it's it goes by so fast. It's so fleeting. They're just amazing little souls that we, in a way, sometimes take for granted because when they're gone, wow, it's funny. Somebody said it's like losing a family member, and I said, but it's worse. Of course, I was kidding, but it feels worse.
I don't have any grudges against my dog. My dog never borrowed my car. My dog, well, you know, if my dog could cut the grass and do the dishes, he would do it for us. That's how he was. You know, you look at my wife when she does dishes, he watches me cutting the grass. When I hurt my back, I was on the ground for like 2 months. Every night laying down, my kids would come down like, oh, here comes my son. No, he steps over me to get the remote, and then right, my dog would come and sit beside me, just lay beside me, you know? That's funny. So I'm thinking, oh, good, here comes my son saying, well, no, Dad, is the remote down here? No, it's not down here. I'm down here, you know?
Oh my God, that is so funny. Well, Lenny, like I said, I don't mean to laugh at you, but
it's funny. Laughter is what gets me through everything. You have to have laughter. You can laugh about everything, and sometimes I say too soon, which is true, but it's not too soon if the person. Like if I say it's not too soon because it's me saying it. You know, sometimes other people make jokes about things. They go, oh, maybe that's too soon. But when the person that the joke is centered towards or geared towards says it itself, then it's all right. I don't mind. I like laughter. I think it's a great thing. It solves a lot of problems, you know?
It does. And, you know, there's so many comedians that are such huge animal lovers and advocates. I think there's just something to be said about humor, especially in the times when it comes to losing a pet, because not everybody can relate to losing a pet, but it's certainly something that, wow, do you ever feel, and you feel deeply. But I hope it doesn't stop you from getting another pet, bringing another pet into your home. And as I said, I was so touched by your story, and Max's picture is adorable. I'm gonna share it with folks. I mean, he was
a character. It was very. I mean, you talked. I have video of him on my phone, and once in a while I look at it on purpose. I know I'm gonna feel bad, but I look at it. When you talk to me, he would tilt his head. His ears would go up whenever you mentioned my mother's name or my sister's name or somebody's name in the family, like mother-in-law. He would tilt his head and raise his ears because he knew I was talking about them. You know. and then I mentioned the same thing. I go, what about the squirreling? And he looks out the window in that video. He knows the squirrels are outside, right? So listen, it's funny because, you know, I always say the word dog, okay, they give you unconditional love. Spelled backwards is God. And apparently God would give you unconditional love as well.
I know.
It's a funny switch of words, you know, like a play in words.
I know it's I don't know. I don't think it's a coincidence. They are angels on earth. They are absolutely fantastic. And again, Lenny the Butcher, tough guy Lenny the Butcher, with one of the most heartbreaking stories. I felt so bad when I saw Max's picture and read Lenny's story that I thought, you know what, I'm going to reach out. But Lenny, very, very funny guy, as you can tell. Even in this tragic moment, we are laughing. But
all the comics that sent me stuff, emails, stuff, and messages, they're all, like, you can tell that they're not joking, they're sincere, because they know the feeling. And even I appreciate the people that are not pet owners, they can understand this, and they still phone me and told me, I'm sorry, and they do realize it. It's not like some people say, oh, it's just a dog. It's not just a dog. Just don't say that. It's not just a dog. Unless you've had a pet, you can't really say that. They're the only people that I really, don't like when they say things like that. But otherwise, most people have been very, very good. They've sent out emails and posts on Facebook, and I appreciate everything. Thanks, everybody. Whoever's listening, thank you very much. It really helps a lot. Speaking to you helps a lot. Speaking to people that are in the same situation helps a lot.
Well, and it'll help. This interview, I know it was hard for you to do, and I knew you had you were hesitant about doing it, but I can tell you, Lenny, it will help other pet owners out there who are going through exactly what you're going through. And the timing is different for everybody, but there will be another little Max out there for you. He won't replace your Max, but there will be another Max. And I just want to use this opportunity one more time to let folks know that there's so many dogs and cats, animals, rabbits, animals out there that need a forever home. So if you want to check out either Toronto Humane Society, speaking of dogs, like I said, one of the best organizations I know for fostering dogs. And I say this with a big smile on my face, a lot of foster failures, but even if you just want to foster a dog, check them out at speakingofdogs.com. Lenny, thanks so much for joining me and sharing your story of Max with us.
No, thank you very much, Judy. Thanks a lot, and I hope people that hear this will be, it's good for them to hear something like this. They know there's a lot of people out there just like them, right?
Absolutely.